Hey everyone, welcome back to the React Native Expo Mastery series. In this episode, we are going to explore how to handle user inputs using the text input and button component. These are the crucial for interactive apps where users needs to input and submit data. This will be needed in our BMI app project, which will come after the fifth episode. I hope you have followed this playlist, and we have already made the zeroth episode, which was a course overview, and the first episode in which we learned about the view, text, and image. Right. Alright. So this is my code up running here, and this code is of yesterday code, right, where we learn about the view, text, and image. Alright. So this is my physical device running side by side. So let's just quickly run this app by simply saying npm start and then scanning up this QR code. Alright, so this was our yesterday code, right, which we learned. Great, so let me just quickly remove this off. Great, so let's just start by using the text input, right? So let's just say simply text input, and it will automatically import this up, right? I will simply close this up right over here only, right? So if I just come all the way down, and there's one property called as placeholder, right? So what does placeholder do here is whatever I will just typing up here, that will display under the placeholder section, right? So let me just give an example. I will just say enter your name, and this actually take equal to property, right? So if I just save this up, I will get the text input here, right? So let me just simply give it a style, right? So we have actually see how to give style in the previous video, but the dedicated and the depth video how to give a style is coming tomorrow, right? So the next episode is of styling only, right? So okay, let's just start by styling it with the margin top to be 80, and let's say text align to be, I guess, center. If I just save this up, this is how it's looking. If I just try to click on this to see if I could just add up the value or not, right? So you can just say this, I could add the values. Let's try to increase the font size. So font size to be 30, I guess, and this is how it's looking. If I just type Vedant, you could see here it just came up. Great. So what I just want here, I just don't want that the user could only input the text, right? I want it to be displayed, right? Whatever the user has been input, and there should also be a submit button. So what could we do here simply is we could just create another text widget. Inside this text widget, what we are trying to do here is I will simply display that your entered data or data is, and then what I will be doing here is I will just using curly bracket, right? So when you use curly bracket, when you are having a type of variable, so we haven't created a variable yet, right? So why we have to create variable actually, right? We are using text input, right? So basically we are inputting the text, right? So we aren't storing anywhere yet, right? So let's say I have to input it use state, right? I hope you don't know use state yet, and actually I will just tell you on the top of that, right, what I'm not going in the depth, right, what is use state, how to use it. I will just simply telling you a little bit about it, right, and you will be learning it might be in the fourth episode. So how to create it here is simply saying I will just say const, and let's say text, right, or let's say data, and let's we have to define another type of variable, right? So whatever you are just entering here, maximum time you are using set and then another like same, right? So I'll just simply say equal to a blank value, right? So what could I do here is I have one property inside the text input, which is value. It basically asks me like what value we have to store in, right? So I'll just simply say data. There's another property which is on change text, right? So what does it do? Like whenever the user would change any type of text, so what you have to do, where you have to store it. So I'll just say set data. Now let's just say your enter data is, then let's say data, and let's see what am I getting up here is, right? So here I'm not getting up the value here, right? Why? Because I just forgot to use this use state here. I just import it here and I haven't used here right yet. So this is how you use it. If I just save this up again, then let's enter a name, right? So let's say am I entering Vedant Bilaya, and you might see right here your enter data is Vedant Bilaya has gained. Alright, so in this example, we use text input to capture user input. The value prop is controlled by the text state, and the onChange text prop updates this state as the user types. This way, we can display the enter text below the input field. Now, let's add a button component to our app. This will allow user to submit their input, and here's how you can use a button component. So let's make a button after this text input, right? So let's simply call a button and just make sure that the button you are using is imported here. Great, so we have one property which is title inside the button, right? So whatever title I would be giving up here will be displayed here. Like if I just say submit, and if I just save this up, you can see this is the button, right? It's not doing any function for now. Let me just style the text a bit, right? So here we have one function which is called onPress. So either you can make an onPress function over here, or you could simply name this and create a function here, right? Let's see how to create a function, right? So I'll just simply say const, and I will copy up this name of the function and I will paste up here, and let's make this function, right? So this is how you make up the function, and don't worry about like what I'm doing, what is function. Dedicated video will be coming soon, but for now, as we have to use buttons, so I'm just telling you this up. So as we created the const data and set data, let's create another variable as maybe const submitted data, set submitted data, right? Great, then again equal to use state with a blank by default. Great, so what I'm doing here up coming to the button, or I'm just coming up in a text, and the with the which I was giving the data, I'll just change up this to be submitted data, right? So inside this function, I will simply say set submit data, right? So what I'm setting the submitted data is to be the data which I have collected from here, right? And then I will simply say set text to be blank, right? So if I just save this up, so yeah, that's because you could not use comma up here, you have to use the semicolon. If I just save this up, I just put the wrong variable name. I have to say set data to be blank, right? Great, so if I just save this up, I just put just set data, and if I just save this up, I'm getting up the value, right? So if I just try to again set a name, right? Let's say Vedant Bilaya, and if I just submit this up, you can see the value's been cleared and it showed me Vedant, right? So if you just remove this line up from here, right, which is set data to be set as none. If I just comment out for now, you just simply remove this for now. And if I just save this and again run this, right, let's say hello, and if I just submit this up, you could see the text input isn't been cleared yet, right? So if I just want to again enter the value, so I have to firstly remove all of that, right? So that's why we was using this set data, or you could do this function with another button which could be like delete button or whatever you want. Let me just simply remove this. Great, so in this example we have added a button component. When the button is pressed, the handle press function is called, which sets the submit data state to the current value of data and clears the input field. This way we can display the submitted text below the button. Alright, so that's it for today's episode. We have learned how to handle user inputs with text input and button, allowing user to enter text and submit that in our app. Play around with these components to see what can you create. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next episode, where we will dive into the styling of component with React Native styling system. Thanks for watching and see you next time.